We can link dimensions in models if the models contain at least one dimension that shares the same data type and members. This allows us to display data from both sources in the same chart or table. In this example, we'll link our sales data and sales manager employee information so we can assess how much the managers sell compared to their salaries. We can link dimensions either from the toolbar or in Builder mode of the Designer panel for a specific chart or table. In the Link Dimensions dialog, the primary model and the dimensions it contains are displayed on the left. On the right, we can select a secondary model. We can choose from any available existing models or select a model that's already been used in the story. In this example, we'll add an existing model that contains employee information about our sales managers. Once we've selected our models, we need to create a link between them by identifying at least one dimension that appears in both models. The linked dimensions don't need to share the same name, but the data they contain must be in the same format. In this example, we'll match on Sales Manager. The link is validated by the system. Note that, if applicable, we can match on more than one dimension. We can also refine the link by specifying whether to match on the ID or descriptions for the selected dimensions. Both models are now listed in the Designer panel, where the primary model is indicated with a blue dot. An icon also displays to identify any linked dimensions. Note that we don't need to include the linked dimension in the chart, although we've done so in this example. Now we'll change the chart type and add the salary information from the linked data source. Measures and dimensions are organized by model. We can now see the information from both data sources in the same chart. Note that there are several options available to customize the link. We can specify the join type to use to display the data. The default option is All Primary Data, which displays all the data in the primary model and the corresponding data in the secondary model. This means that all members from the primary model display, regardless of whether they're contained in the secondary model, but any members from the secondary model that are not also in the primary model are ignored. The All Data option allows all data in both the primary and secondary models to display. The Intersecting Data Only option allows only the linked data to appear in the chart. Note that the icon that displays beside the secondary model indicates the type of join that's currently selected. We can control whether the system creates new members, which creates duplicates so that the data from each source is kept distinct, or merges members, meaning that all data for a member is combined. We can also choose which linked dimension is driving the data in the chart if more than one has been created, and edit the existing link. If we open the list of links, we can see the detail for the link and can add more links and edit or delete any existing links. Thanks for watching.